Let's be honest for a second. Walking into a big box electronics store in 2026 feels a lot like walking into a high-stakes casino. The lights are blindingly bright. The colors on the screens are artificially saturated to look like a neon fever dream, and every single salesperson is sharking around the floor waiting to sell you a revolution that is actually a recycled piece of junk from 3 years ago. If you go into that environment unprepared, you aren't just a customer, you are a target. Manufacturers have become masters of psychological warfare, using big numbers, fake acronyms, and shiny exterior shells to hide the fact that the actual hardware inside is bottom-shelf garbage. If you find yourself reaching for your wallet because a TV is ultra-thin or boasts 8K resolution at a suspicious discount, stop right there. You are about to fall into a trap that makes you look, frankly, a bit foolish. Today we are calling out the industry and highlighting the 7 specific TVs that only gullible, uneducated shoppers are buying in 2026. We are stripping away the marketing lies and showing you the supermarket secrets that will save you thousands of dollars and years of frustration. If you want a screen that actually performs and doesn't become a paperweight by 2028, listen up, because the truth is about to get a little uncomfortable for the big brands. Before we hit the first offender, let's talk about the 2026 tech bubble. We have reached a peak in display technology where the incremental improvements are tiny, but the marketing claims are getting bigger to compensate. Companies know that most people don't understand backlighting zones or panel bit depth, so they sell you on vibes and aesthetic. They want you to buy a TV like you buy a piece of furniture, forgetting that this is a complex piece of computing hardware. In 2026, being a smart shopper means being a skeptical shopper. You have to ignore the stickers and look at the spec sheet with a magnifying glass. The first TV on our avoid at all costs list is the budget Tier 8K television. Look, I get it. Your neighbor has a 4K TV, so naturally you want the one with the bigger number. 8K sounds twice as good, right? Wrong. In 2026, buying a budget 8K TV is essentially paying a stupidity tax. There is still virtually no native 8K content. Not on Netflix, not on Disney+, and certainly not on standard cable. Even high-end gaming consoles struggle to output a stable 8K signal at high frame rates. When you buy a budget 8K set, you are buying a panel that has 4 times the pixels but a processor that isn't powerful enough to manage them effectively. Because these cheap 8K TVs have to cram so many tiny pixels together, they suffer from terrible light transmission. To get an 8K TV as bright as a standard 4K TV, the manufacturer has to crank up the backlight, which leads to massive heat production and a much higher electric bill. Often, these budget 8K sets actually look worse than a premium 4K set because they have to cut corners on the contrast and color accuracy just to keep the price semi-affordable. You are buying a blurry, dim, hot-running mess just for the bragging rights of a logo on the box. Don't be that person. A high-end 4K OLED will beat a budget 8K TV every single day of the week, and twice on Sundays. Next up, we have to talk about the supermarket special edge-lit LED TVs. It is 2026, and the fact that edge-lit technology even still exists is a testament to how much companies love profit margins over quality. An edge-lit TV has a row of lights along the side or the bottom, and it uses a translucent piece of plastic to reflect that light across the screen. It's essentially a glorified flashlight shining through a window. The result? You get clouding, those ugly white splotches in the corners during dark scenes. You get light bleed, where the subtitles look like they are glowing with a radioactive aura. In an era where every major movie is released in HDR, an edge-lit TV is a joke. It cannot provide the localized brightness needed for a true high dynamic range experience. When a candle flickers on screen, the entire side of the TV has to brighten up, destroying the black levels and making the movie look like a gray, washed-out mess. People buy these because they are cheap and thin, but they are buying a 2015 viewing experience in 2026. If you aren't getting at least full-array local dimming or mini LED, you are literally throwing your money away on outdated tech that shouldn't even be on the shelves anymore. The third type of TV that only uninformed people are buying is the proprietary OS Smart TV. You'll find these under store brand names or obscure labels in giant supermarkets. They look great on the outside, and the price is stunningly low. But as soon as you turn it on, you realize you've invited a spy into your living room that refuses to work. These TVs use closed operating systems that don't support the big apps properly. Within a year, your YouTube app will start crashing, or Hulu will stop supporting that specific version of the software. But here is the real supermarket secret. These TVs are so cheap because the manufacturer is making their real profit by selling your data. They track every channel you flip to, every movie you watch, and how long you spend looking at specific advertisements. Then they sell that profile to marketing firms. You aren't the customer. You are the product being sold. Furthermore, those proprietary systems are notoriously laggy. In 2026, you want a TV that responds instantly. Buying a TV with a zombie operating system means you'll end up spending another $50 on a streaming stick in 6 months anyway. Save the hassle and buy a TV with a reputable, open platform like Google TV or Roku from the start. Number 4 on our list is the designer slim TV that forgets it needs speakers and a cooling system. We are living in a world obsessed with thinness, but physics doesn't care about your interior design goals. When a TV is less than half an inch thick, there is absolutely no physical room for a decent speaker driver. You are buying a $1,000 screen that sounds like a cell phone at the bottom of a tin can. Worse than the sound is the heat. In 2026, TV processors are more powerful than ever, and they generate a lot of thermal energy. In those ultra-slim chassis, there is no airflow. The heat stays trapped against the delicate liquid crystal or OLED layers, leading to panel degradation much faster than a standard depth TV. We are seeing these beauty TVs failing at an alarming rate after just 24 months of use. People buy them because they look like a piece of art on the wall, but they are buying a ticking time bomb. A TV that is an inch thicker will have better sound, better cooling, and will likely last 5 years longer. Don't sacrifice the brains and longevity of your tech just for a slim profile that you'll stop noticing after a week. Moving on to number 5. The fake 120Hz or 240Hz gaming TV. This is a massive scam in the 2026 supermarket aisles. You'll see a box that screams motion rate 240 inches or clear motion 120. To the average person, that sounds like a high-performance gaming screen. But motion rate is not the same as native refresh rate. It is a marketing term used to describe software tricks like frame interpolation or black frame insertion. Essentially, the TV is taking a standard 60 Hz panel, the cheap kind, and using a soap opera effect to fake the smoothness. For gaming, this is a disaster. It adds input lag, which is the delay between you moving the joystick and the character moving on screen. If you are a gamer and you buy a TV based on motion rate, you are getting scammed. You end up with a blurry, laggy experience that makes fast-paced games unplayable. In 2026, always look for the word native. If it doesn't say 120 Hz native refresh rate, it is a slow TV wearing a fast TV's clothing. Don't be the person who pays premium prices for a software gimmick. The sixth offender is the outdoor TV that is just an indoor TV with a glorified raincoat. With the rise of outdoor living spaces in 2026, companies are slapping weather-resistant stickers on mid-range TVs and charging 3 times the price. But unless you are spending $5,000 on a truly sealed, temperature-controlled unit, you are getting ripped off. Most of these supermarket outdoor TVs cannot handle real humidity, salt air, or extreme temperature swings. Within a year, the internal boards will corrode from moisture because the weatherproofing was just a few cheap rubber gaskets that dried out in the sun. Furthermore, these sets usually don't have the peak brightness required to compete with actual sunlight. You'll be sitting on your patio looking at a dark, reflective mirror. If you want a TV for your deck, buy the cheapest possible indoor TV, except that it might only last 2 years, and keep it in a protective cover. Buying the mid-priced fake outdoor TV is just giving the manufacturer a huge donation for a product that is fundamentally flawed. Finally, the 7th TV that no smart person should buy in 2026 is the transparent or rollable OLED. I know, they look like magic. It's the ultimate cool factor to have a TV that disappears into a box or turns into a window. But in 2026, this is still experimental technology masquerading as a consumer product. The price-to-performance ratio is astronomical. To make a TV transparent or flexible, the manufacturers have to compromise on the purity of the pixels. These screens have lower peak brightness, worse color accuracy, and a much shorter lifespan than a traditional solid OLED panel. They are also incredibly delicate. One stray pet or an accidental bump can ruin a panel that costs more than a small car. If you buy one of these, you are paying $10,000 for a TV that looks worse than a $2,000 standard OLED. You are paying for the wow factor, not the watch factor. In 2026, let the billionaires and the tech influencers waste their money on these prototypes. By 2030, the tech might be ready, but right now, it's a vanity purchase for people who care more about impressing their guests than actually enjoying a movie. So why does this happen? Why are the shelves full of these stupid choices? It comes down to the supermarket psychology. Big retailers make their biggest margins on the house brands and the exclusive models that you can't price compare. Have you ever noticed a TV model number that is slightly different at one store compared to another? That is so you can't ask for a price match. They strip out one or two features, change the box, and call it a deal. They also rely on shelf saturation. They put the worst performing TVs next to a reference model that is intentionally set to the wrong settings to make the cheap one look better. This is a classic decoy effect. They want you to think you are making a savvy choice by picking the mid-priced 8K TV, not realizing that both the cheap one and the mid-priced one are inferior to the standard 4K model tucked away in the corner. To win the game, you have to stop playing by their rules. In 2026, the real sweet spot of the market is high-zone mini LED and standard OLED. Any TV that isn't using one of those two technologies is likely cutting serious corners. Mini LED has finally matured to the point where it can give you thousands of dimming zones, providing a near OLED experience for a much lower price. This is where the smart money is going. If you buy a standard LED TV in 2026, you are essentially buying a light bulb from the 1920s and expecting it to perform like a laser. I also want to talk about the port trap. This is a big one for 2026. As we carry more devices, soundbars, consoles, streaming boxes, the number of high-speed ports becomes vital. Many of the TVs we've warned you about today will brag about 4K 120 Hz, but only offer it on one of their 4 HDMI ports. If you have a PlayStation and a high-end soundbar, you are already out of ports. You'll be constantly behind the TV swapping cables like it's 2005. A smart TV purchase in 2026 means ensuring all 4 ports are HDMI 2.1b compatible. If the salespeople can't tell you the port spec, walk away. They are trying to hide a bottleneck that will drive you crazy within a week of getting home. Another supermarket secret is the demo loop. When you see those beautiful shots of slow-moving paint splashes or colorful birds on the store screens, notice what you see. You don't see fast-moving sports. You don't see dark, moody movie scenes with lots of shadows. You don't see scrolls of text. This is because the demo content is specifically designed to hide a TV's flaws. It hides the judder, it hides the lack of black uniformity, and it hides the lag. If you want to see if a TV is actually good, ask them to put on a standard YouTube video of a football game or a dark thriller movie trailer. If they won't do it, it's because the TV will look terrible the moment the controlled environment is removed. Let's talk about nits again, because this is where the 2026 budget 8K and edge-lit TVs really fail. A nit is a measurement of brightness. To truly see the detail in a sunset or the glint off a car in a movie, that's the HDR effect. You need a TV that can hit at least 800 to 1000 nits. The scam TVs in the supermarket usually peak at 250 to 300 nits. They take that beautiful HDR signal and tone map it down, which actually makes the image look darker and muddier than a 10-year-old non-HDR TV. People see the HDR logo and think they are getting the best, but they are getting a dimmed-down version of reality. In the world of 2026 TV tech, if you don't have the brightness, the labels don't matter. We also have to discuss processing power. In 2026, your TV is doing a massive amount of math every second. It's upscaling 1080p content to 4K, it's cleaning up digital noise from streaming, and it's managing the motion of the scene. The no-name and budget TVs use bargain bin chips. This results in blocking, where you see little squares in the dark areas of a stream, and banding, where a blue sky looks like a series of stripes instead of a smooth gradient. A smart buyer knows that a Sony or LG processor from 2024 is often better than a new budget processor from 2026. Don't let the new for 2026 inches sticker fool you. Old high-end tech beats new low-end tech every single time. Now let's talk about sustainability and repairability. In 2026, uninformed people are buying TVs that are essentially disposable, Many of these ultra-thin or budget models are glued together rather than screwed. If a single capacitor on the power board fails, a part that costs 5 cents, the whole TV has to be thrown away because it is impossible to open without cracking the screen. Smart buyers are looking for right-to-repair scores. They are looking for brands that have a track record of parts availability. Buying a disposable TV is not only bad for the environment, it's bad for your long-term finances. If you have to replace a $600 TV every 3 years, you are spending much more than the person who bought a $200 TV that lasts 12 years. There is also the glare factor. Supermarkets are bright, so they use TVs with very glossy screens to make the colors pop. But your living room at home likely has a window or a lamp. The cheap panels in the avoid list have terrible anti-reflective coatings. You'll get home, turn on your favorite show, and all you'll see is the reflection of your own face and the kitchen light. A premium TV in 2026 has a moth eye or high-end matte coating that swallows light. This allows you to actually see the movie. It's a feature you won't see on the spec sticker, but it will change your life. Consider the remote as well. I know it seems minor, but it matters. The stupid TVs of 2026 still come with those clunky 80-button infrared remotes where half the buttons don't do anything. A smart purchase gives you a sleek, Bluetooth-connected remote that doesn't need line of sight and maybe even has a solar panel on the back. It's a sign of a manufacturer that cares about the user experience, not just the lowest manufacturing cost. If the remote feels like a toy from a cereal box, the TV probably is one too. The 2026 TV market is built on the fear of missing out, FOMO. They want you to feel like 4K is dead and 8K is the only way forward. They want you to feel like your thick 2-inch TV is an eyesore. They want you to feel like you need AI everything. But the secret is that a great 4K picture from 5 years ago is still a great 4K picture today. The fundamental pillars of a good TV are black levels, peak brightness, color accuracy, and motion handling. If a TV doesn't excel at those 4 things, it doesn't matter if it's transparent, 8K, or as thin as a piece of paper. It's a bad TV. When you walk into that store, I want you to have a mental filter. When the salesperson says 8K, you hear useless pixels. When they say ultra slim, you hear overheating and no bass. When they say exclusive store brand, you hear data tracker and no updates. By reframing their marketing as what it actually is, you protect yourself from the supermarket scams. You become the shopper they hate, the one who knows too much to be tricked. Let's look at the soundbar hidden cost again. Many shoppers spend their entire budget on one of these avoid list TVs, then realize they can't hear the dialogue. They then have to go out and buy a cheap soundbar, which takes up more space and requires a second remote. A smart move is to look for a TV with acoustic surface or decent internal woofers. In 2026, some mid-range TVs actually have very respectable sound. By spending $100 more on the TV itself, you might save $300 on an external sound system. It's all about looking at the total cost of ownership, not just the price on the tag. Another 2026 trap is AI upscaling. Manufacturers claim their AI can turn a blurry 720p YouTube video into 4K perfection. It's a lie. AI can sharpen edges, but it can't create detail that isn't there. Often, the AI makes people's skin look like plastic, or makes the background look like a smudge. A high-quality dumb panel with good natural contrast will always look better than a cheap panel trying to AI hallucinate an image. Don't pay for AI features that just make the world look fake. The goal is to find a TV that disappears into your life, not one you have to constantly manage. You want to sit down, press one button, and have it work perfectly for the next decade. The 7 TVs we listed today, the budget 8Ks, the edge-lit relics, the proprietary OS traps, the ultra-slim heaters, the fake high refresh sets, the raincoat outdoor TVs, and the experimental prototypes. None of them offer that reliability. They are all compromise products designed to hit a price point or a marketing slogan. If you take one thing away from today, let it be this. Price is what you pay. Value is what you get. A cheap TV that makes you squint, frustrates you with laggy menus, and breaks in 3 years is the most expensive thing you can buy. A premium but proven model that gives you joy every time you turn it on is the real bargain. The 2026 supermarket is designed to separate people who want stuff from people who want quality. Don't be the person who falls for the store mode trickery. Don't be the person who thinks a bigger number is always better. And for the love of all things holy, don't be the person who buys a TV because of how it looks when it's asterisk off asterisk. A TV's job is to be a window into another world when it's asterisk on asterisk. Do your homework. Look at ratings or digital trends for the real technical data. Ask about the panel type. Is it VA, IPS, or OLED? Ask about the number of dimming zones. Ask about the HDMI port version. If the store can't give you these answers, they are a supermarket, not an electronics store, and you should take your business elsewhere. You've worked hard for your money. Don't let it go into the pocket of a manufacturer that thinks you are stupid enough to buy their 2026 innovations. The winners in 2026 are the brands that are perfecting the basics. They are the ones using mini LED for incredible brightness and OLED for incredible contrast. They are the ones using Google TV or Roku for a smooth experience. They are the ones that give you 4 full-speed ports and a sturdy, well-cooled chassis. Find those models, stick to your guns, and ignore the 8K slim foldable smart AI noise. By avoiding these 7 specific traps, you are setting yourself up for a decade of great movies, immersive games, and stress-free viewing. You are choosing to be a literate consumer in a world of marketing noise. It's a powerful feeling to walk past the deals at the front of the store knowing they are actually disasters in disguise. So, stay sharp, stay skeptical, and always remember, the most important spec on a TV isn't on the box. It's the quality of the image you see with your own 2 eyes in a dark room. Thank you for staying with me through this deep dive into the 2026 TV minefield. I hope this protects your wallet and your living room from the biggest scams on the market. Now go out there and find that perfect 4K OLED or mini LED that will make you smile every time you pick up the remote. You deserve the best, and now you know how to find it. See you in the next one.